Come on in and take a load off. Come and listen to the guys as they touch your funny bone. Trust me, these guys can make you explode with laughter and make you beg for more. You're listening to House of Machismo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new, awesome, sexy House of Machismo.
Good morning.
And the reason why it's sexy is because it's just me and Chris, or Chris and I for you grammar hoes out there.
One-on-one.
Yes. And K-Rod's not here today. He was too tired. That's what's his excuse, is that he was too tired. Yeah.
He's got the new apartment. So.
Yeah, he's got a new apartment, but I mean, everyone else has a... I'm just angry because when I moved into my house to this house many years ago, he was too tired to help me move. Yeah, it sucked, Yeah. And then Luis is running late, he says, so he might join us, he might not, I have no idea. But anyways, hey, welcome to House of Machismo. Again, just me and Chris and I.
HOM.
That's right. And it's been kind of it's been very humid, hasn't it?
It's starting to crank up out there.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Feels like Houston.
Yeah. Stupid Houston. No, Houston's awesome. I love Houston. I just don't like the humidity, I guess. I'm a dry heat kind of a person. I don't like feeling that stickiness because it confuses me. It makes me think that I'm sweating. I don't sweat a whole lot.
Yeah.
Apparently, but when it's really humid, I feel the accumulation on my skin and it feels weird. I don't know.
I start getting boob sweat and all the other
Oh my God,
stuff,
I hate the boob sweat.
And you're not even doing nothing to
I know,
sweat.
you just step outside and you already got the boob sweat and the ass sweat and all that,
Yeah.
And I know, what was it the other day? My friend and I were running, and we made a stop at Walmart. Yeah, we went to Walmart, and I was just wet. I was just covered in, sweat. My friend's back was like extremely wet, like drenched, But you got to go to Walmart and get your groceries and stuff, But in deodorant.
And then you carried all your stuff home?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. No, I gave it to homeless people outside. Actually, I've sometimes been known to do that.
But the shoe story.
What?
The shoe story?
The shoe story?
When you gave your shoes to a homeless
Oh, yeah. I did. I gave my... one time a friend and I were driving around... we're not driving around like aimlessly, but we were going somewhere. We're cutting through this neighborhood. And there was this guy that was just walking... This must have been about 100 degrees outside, so the pavement must have been... You know how hot it can be.
Yeah.
And he was barefooted, and there was all this construction gravel, and he's just walking, and I'm like, I felt bad for him, so I went ahead and was like, hey, dude, let's just stop and let me give him my shoes, because we were going to make a pit stop at my house anyway. Mm-hmm. So I took my shoes off, and I said, hey, dude, here you go. You can have my shoes. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, this guy would have been, like, so grateful, like, oh, thanks, because that's happened before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I think this guy had some mental issues and all that stuff. He was like all this saliva was like spewing from his mouth, it's like landing everywhere. And he's all like, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Like he literally sounded like that. And that was so like unexpected. And then I look and I see in slow motion that one of his saliva flings from his mouth and lands on my hand.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. That's so gross. This was like maybe a summer ago. It was about a year ago. It might have been a year ago.
It was in the middle of the panty?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And might have been the summer before. I'm not sure. But it basically I gave him these, and I did like these pair of Adidas. They were actually kind of cool, and I got them on sale. Okay. Anyway.
So some Adidas?
Yeah.
What color?
They were black. Black Adidas, but not the fancy kind. Not the one that looks like the pot leaf ones.
Okay.
The lines.
The three stripe.
The three stripe.
Three stripe brand.
Yeah. And
Yeezys?
The what? No, I think they were actually kind of... Were they running shoes? They might have been running shoes. I don't know. I just wear shoes just to wear shoes if they're running shoes.
How long had you owned them before you...
About a good 6 months.
Okay.
A good 6 months. So I guess, I don't know, I go through shoes pretty quickly.
They're broken a little bit.
Yeah. And they're the kind where if they're not I don't untie them. I just slip them on.
Mm-hmm.
So they're that comfortable.
Yeah.
So I gave it to him. Anyway, so I rush home, change my shoes, burn my hand, sanitize it and all that. And my friend that I was with, we went to Walmart a few weeks later, like maybe a month later, maybe over a month. And I see my shoes that I gave this guy. And it's on this guy that's asleep right next to the Walmart, right next to the building. And I take a closer look, and I'm like, hey, it's that dude. I'm like, because those are my shoes. I remember how I worn the bottom out of the shoes and all that. And I'm like, those are my shoes.
You put your name on the bottom of the shoes?
Right? No, that's how I can identify them because I wear my shoes out in a certain spot.
Right.
And I could clearly tell, like, hey, they were worn and they were Adidas and they were black and they were that.
Right.
And it was that guy. And I thought, oh, that's cool. He actually used them. That's good. Poor guy asleep on the side of Walmart. Nothing to do about that at the moment. But anyway, yeah, that felt good.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I just do these kind of things sometimes. They're just
What's
random.
is that the nicest thing you've given to the
No.
underappreciated? Just
No.
on the whim, just on the spot though.
Nothing
planned. Let's talk about spontaneous.
I
charity.
can outdo pretty much anybody because
Yeah.
I can understand what it's like for people to be without,
Yeah.
and I have empathy and sympathy for a lot of people.
Right.
Even though from Marty's tough exterior, I don't give a damn or whatever. No, F you. But when it comes down to it,
You have a big heart.
yeah, I
That's
just
good.
don't like showing it to people
That's
very
good.
often.
That's good.
But those closest to me see that.
Yeah.
And what was it? Oscar, you were with me. Who was that lady? The one we were.
Bell Brothers?
The what? Yeah, we were over there by MacArthur or something. There was this lady. She.
Kids, right?
Yeah, she had kids and she was Indian or something like that. And I think Oscar had just paid me $50.
Ooh.
I think that's what it was. He had paid me back $50, and then I just gave it to her.
So you're plus 50.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, here you go.
Yeah.
And then she said something in her native language I didn't quite understand, but she was so grateful about it. So,
Yeah.
Other ones, I remember this other. Sorry, let me just talk about me.
Yeah.
I remember this one where it was at the Fox station over here, gas station at Harry Hines and Northwest Highway. Very popular place, especially if you don't have a car. For some reason, very popular for people like that. Just basically anybody and everybody walks up and starts asking for money if you
Right.
just happen to park. And so anyway, so this lady walks up to us and she asks if we have any money.
Mm-hmm.
And she has her little girl with her. And I told her, I'm sorry, I don't. At that point, I didn't have any cash on me. And but I offered her some water. It's like I have 2 cold bottled waters, and then she points to her little girl who's carrying tons of bottled water that people have given her.
We got water.
Yeah, so I was
We're
like,
good on water.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm all like, okay, well, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah. She's like, it's okay. So then she walks off. Little girl looks frustrated as hell. She's like a good 8-9 years old, and she just looks like she's tired. Like she's been doing this all day.
Damn.
Yeah, so then as we're driving off, because I was hoping, I was basically filling up my Brent's tank anyway, so I'm putting my card back in my wallet, and I realized, oh, look, I have a ton of cash
Oh, yeah.
that I forgot that I had taken out, because I normally don't carry cash with me.
Paper money.
Yeah, and so stopped, and then went and found her. It's like, here you go. Actually, I didn't know that I had this, and just gave her. I think it was enough for like a hotel room,
yeah.
or something like that for a night.
I would think that might be the ideal thing to get someone that's homeless. But you got to be careful, what type of hotel you put them up in, because
That's
the
true.
incidentals and stuff like that. They might need your credit card.
Well, the
You might
kind
have
of place
to go to a motel.
yeah, the kind of
right?
place where she's probably going to be staying won't be like, oh, you didn't make a reservation.
Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, yes, of course. Do you have a major credit card? We just need to
Yeah.
put a hold on it. That's all. We won't charge it, but we will put a hold
Yeah.
on it. No, it won't be that kind of a place,
$250
unfortunately.
deposit.
Yeah. And then usually the people with the animals, dogs,
Yeah.
or something like that, usually they get to me also.
Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
I I haven't done anything that major. I mean, except for maybe food and water every now and then. I'll see somebody, give them a $20 bill.
Yeah.
But you never know what's going to happen with that money. I just wish them the best. Whenever I have extra, because I haven't been living this long to where I've had extra. I've just recently have started making, residual income to where I could have a little bit of spending cash left over, a nice chunk, for myself. It's only been a couple years. So I've grown up, pretty closer to the living check to check, living check to check. And you just got to try to do your best by people.
That's true.
But yeah, bless your heart. That's a great thing.
It's tough because I try to put myself in their situation.
And I always feel bad because I want to give clothes away too. I got plenty of shoes I can give away and hats, but I don't. Sometimes I feel weird approaching somebody and being like, here, take my leftovers, take my hand-me-downs. But then I don't know how they're going to react to that. Because I have had some people where I tried to hand them food. They're like, I don't want that. You know what I mean?
One of my worst experience giving stuff away was back when I started working where I worked. I would always catch the bus downtown to eat, to get something to eat. As a matter of fact, no, I would catch with a coworker.
Shout out Dart.
Yeah, we would catch the bus to downtown to eat, but then we had to make sure that we catch a certain bus back to make sure that we got back, in time.
Yeah.
And so this one time, this guy we were waiting for a bus, and it was a little late, so I knew we had some time. And he had asked for money, and I said, well, I don't have money. He's like, I just wanted to get something to eat. I'm like, oh, you want something to eat? All right, then, come on, let's go into the store right here, because we were right by a convenience store. Like, literally, the stop is, like, right there. So we go into the convenience store. I says, pick out anything you want, and I'll get it for you. So then he picks out a sandwich. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, so we're getting to the checkout line. And he's like, do you think I can get something to drink? I'm like, sure. Go ahead and get something to drink. So then he finds something to drink, and then he's like, what about a bag of chips? And I'm like, okay, all right. Because now there's a line starting to form. Yeah. Because I'm like, well, I got to get going. Because, And then I'm like, okay, a bag of chips. So then he gets a bag of chips, and we stand in line. He's like, what about something for dessert? Like something sweet. It's like, oh my God, sir. It's like, I'm buying you lunch and now you want dessert? He's like, it's because my blood sugar. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Diabetic, homeless.
Yeah, exactly. So then, I'm buying all this stuff and I see here's the bus. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's like the bus, my coworker, I was like, I'm like literally like, go on without me.
Keep the change.
Yeah, man. Like it was tough because this guy just kept on asking for more and more because he was used to it.
Yeah.
But me, I didn't want to be an asshole. But then also I'm like, well, this guy seems to be taking advantage of the situation. I'm not dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff, meaning that I know some of these people aren't going to do some good stuff with this money.
Yeah.
And other people, that's just for me to make my... Basically, what I tell people that ask, why do you do this? Because I have a friend that will adamantly not give anybody who asks for money.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, because he just assumes that these people are lazy and they don't want to get a job, or they don't want to work or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just tell him, it's like, you just gotta, whoever it is that's asking for it, I gotta get a quick feel for them. And sometimes it's a good feeling that I get from them. Sometimes it's a bad feeling.
Absolutely.
But either way, they gotta convince me, why is it that you need this money?
Right.
Other than, because I can tell, like someone is like, oh, this guy's just gonna go buy beer with this money. But again, like what you said earlier, it's just something that is extra that it's not gonna hurt me if I lose it or don't, if I give it away.
And then, you got your hustlers out there who are just, the regular poor folks who hustle every day.
Yeah.
And like there's this one time I was in Nolens, and I was in the French Quarter.
Yeah.
And it was busy. It was a weeknight, but it was still packed down there, French Quarter. This one gentleman walks up to me, and we're in front of a convenience store, and he just starts shining my shoes. Unsolicited. Yeah. Just comes up, sprays, and I'm wearing Nikes. I didn't wear my best shoes because it's in the French Quarter, and I know it's going to be grimy and nasty.
It always smells like pee everywhere you go.
I wear my low level shoes, but he just comes up, squirts something on my shoes.
Yeah.
and just starts wiping them down with a rag. And I'm like, dude, like, if those were a good pair of shoes, I would be pissed right now.
Yeah.
I'd be kicking you right now. You know what I'm saying? And then he says something quick like, 2 for the shine, 1 for the line, or something like that. And then he puts his hand out like this, and I'm like, dude, what do you want? And he's like, $2. I just shined your shoes. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even ask you, first off. So I was just like, all right, man, just because you were witty with that little line, I'll go in this store. I'll buy you a bag of chips, a soda. And when we walked in there, it was kind of like how your story was.
Yeah.
He kept asking for more.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, can I get this candy bar real quick? Can you buy me a pack of Black & Milds? I was like, sure, go ahead. And then that's it. I spent about $8-9 on him, and we were out. The next day, a woman, right? A poor woman. She wasn't homeless. She was with her kid, too.
Yeah.
She comes up and tries to do the same thing to me. She starts approaching my shoe. We're walking around and I'm like, no, ma'am, I already heard this one. She got offended because I said that.
Oh, yeah.
And she started cussing me up and down. I was with my wife. I was like, babe, just start walking. We're going to go. She's like, you blah, 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 cussing me all over the place. And I was like, that's great language to use in front of your kid. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it is the French Quarter.
I was
New
just
Orleans.
walking. I just kept walking, and she kept cussing me all the way till I turned the corner. But yeah, that was one of those experiences, and
God, you don't want to lump a lot of people in these situations like that. Obviously that's a con.
I don't take what that situation is and apply it to anybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody's on a base to base. They're on their own situation.
Because the same friend that I was telling you about, he stopped because we were driving one time, and he stopped to donate some money to these people that had signs, on poster boards saying that donate money for this biker guy that was in an accident, got killed. And so he's he's going to donate money, and he donated money, and then we take off. And I said, why'd you give them money and not a homeless person, or not someone else in a different situation? It's because this is more legit. And I said, well, how do you know it's legit? I mean, it's just 3 people with a motorcycle. How do you know that this person that they're claiming actually did die in a motorcycle accident, which is probably true, but we don't know, but to make these assumptions about people. Yeah,
there was some little short documentary I remember watching. It was real short. I don't even know if it's on Netflix or anything. You could probably find it, but it was just it followed these hustlers in New York City who aren't necessarily homeless.
Yeah.
But they pander all day.
Yeah.
And they make a couple hundred a day just being in prime locations. They know how to ask. They know who to ask.
And a lot of people, they just donate or give just to get them off their back. Yeah, exactly.
And they know that, and they play that game, you know?
But for me, they entered a whole different game,
But that's New York City. You're going to get a lot of panderers. I mean, that's the mecca probably of pandering.
Well, here I know in Dallas, panhandling is illegal, but they really don't enforce it because this is too.
I noticed in Dallas, there's a lot more. It seems like mental illness. Homeless. Than your typical just poor hustler, homeless person that's aggressively asking you for things. But I don't spend too much time in downtown. I just know my wife used to work in downtown, and she would have a lot of these encounters.
Well, someone that frequents downtown Dallas, me.
You're the expert.
Yeah, they have. You run into the hustlers here and there, but if you frequent downtown Dallas, you might be taken for a ride here and there, but then eventually you learn. It's like, no, and that's how I use my senses, I guess, my expertise in that area. It's like, no, this sounds like a con. And just go with your gut, meaning that if you're just not comfortable, then don't, But for me, I don't ignore people when they talk to me. Unfortunately, some people can be in a situation where they just don't feel safe, so they'll just completely ignore whoever it is. But personally, I just don't, just because I feel like if you're a person, then I'm going to acknowledge your existence.
Right.
Whether you're trying to con me or not or whatever, but I'm still going to go with my gut feeling of, no, I'm not going to give you money, not today. Or sometimes if I'm if I'm in a hurry, I'll tell them, hey, you can talk, but you got to walk with me. I'm not going to stop, And
absolutely.
so if they can keep up with me, then chances are, if I have a cash, I might actually help you out. If not, then, it's whatever. But for the most part, there is a lot more of a mental illness thing with going on, especially with homeless people. And the unfortunate thing is that even when you try helping some of these people, they don't really want the help, I guess. And it's a lot of burden to say, hey, you know what, let's get this person some free housing for now and some training and this and that. But a lot of them won't accept it because sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah, they don't know how to accept it.
Yeah. So it's like now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you get 6 free months in this apartment. And that's a lot to maintain, you know, and then
they have to start living under certain rules, and doing certain things and living different lifestyle than they were living when they were on the street, right, or under the overpass. You know, have you had any homeless people at a red light come up and just start washing your windshield?
No, there's not a whole lot of that in Dallas. Only because I would suspect that would probably be in Chicago.
It is in Chicago.
Because pedestrians have the right of way in Chicago.
Right.
In Dallas, that's a whole different story where
you'll get run over.
You will get run over.
Yeah.
So I noticed that because when I frequent the area where JFK was assassinated, a lot of tourists. And a lot of tourists stand on that X going down Elm Street.
Right.
And I look at them like they're going to get the fuck run over when that light turns. And sure enough, Oscar, are you crying?
It's like NASCAR.
Oh, yeah,
it's like NASCAR around that curve there.
Yeah, dude. So, no, there's not a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of interweaving walking in between traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meaning,
I see that
you know, where they'll quickly hand over
all
money.
All the overpasses have them.
Yeah,
you know.
but not the whole washing windows because that takes time. And when that light changes, they don't give a fuck. They're gone.
I like a good, witty, funny sign. I like when they're like putting some thought into their signage.
Yeah.
And they're just being honest and real about it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, need a kidney, call me.
They may not necessarily get $1 out of me, but I'll pay attention and
the honesty part. Yeah. Well, for me, I just don't know if they're being honest or not. I don't know. If I see somebody standing in the middle of the road, or in the median or something, I just kind of already know, hey, their situation is not as good as mine because I see. Over there by Forest and 75, there was like a whole tent city set up there.
Right.
You know, and now it's gone. They fenced it off. The city had fenced it off.
Yeah.
So now it's like they displaced these people. You know, because, I mean, if you don't have a place to go, where are you going to go?
They did a lot of that down like in Deep Elm where all those overpasses are. They fenced it off, too. There used to be a lot of tents down there.
And this is an area where it's not like a whole lot of businesses. Like maybe if you cross the highway or the freeway or something. But I guess like in the Deep Ellum area, I guess there's more businesses down there.
Starting to be.
Yeah, so it's like they just don't feel comfortable brushing people off, you know. But then also like, well, how about have them come and live in your neighborhood? It was like, well, you know what? Maybe about 3 minutes from my house, I have that situation.
Right.
You know, so it's everywhere. And the unfortunate thing is that people don't understand that they get into this mentality where, well, I didn't get that. You know, I had to work what I had for what I got. I had to do this. I had to do that. Hey, that's great. It's not about you now, is it?
Right.
It's someone else's situation who is different, who you don't know. You know, and so if you can just let that feeling go of this entitlement, meaning that I had to earn my way to where I got,
right?
That's a great story for you, but it's not someone else's story, and you don't know their story, and you don't know how they got there, and sometimes you just don't know what's going on inside their mind. You know, so shut up. You know, at least that's just my opinion. You know, so. So yeah, I will help out as much as I can. I think I even got into an argument with this guy, one of my friends on Facebook. I just had to put him on silent because his ideas are. He grew up old school Mexican, you know, not a whole lot, but now he, you know, over the years he acquired, you know, he has a lot now, which is great. You see all the pictures of him, like these awesome weekends that he has with his wife and kids and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then during that ice storm. Back in February, there were a lot of people who got their $10,000 electric bill, because they were on a variable rate.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. But this guy was saying, well, that's their fault. They should have negotiated better. They should have done this. Why should taxpayers have to help them out? And and my thing is like, dude, it was an unforeseeable disaster, and what's wrong with wanting to help out someone? I was like, well, that's on them,
Yeah.
And it's like, well, come on, it's like we're all, what's that expression? We're all in this together,
I remember once back in Chicago when I was a child, my grandfather worked for the Ark, which was
Tony Stark?
It was Ark, A-R-K.
Oh, okay.
Like Moses and the Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Jewish foundation that helped poor Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
And we would sometimes go to these places that had commercial kitchens. I guess it would be like a shelter or like a poor house that, they would have rooms for people who ever showed up at night and they could let them in.
Yeah.
But it had a commercial kitchen in the ground floor level to where you can make meals.
Yeah.
And we would volunteer maybe once or twice a year to go there and cook a meal for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going once with my grandfather and my dad to cook a big meal. I don't know how many people we served, maybe 100 or 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
We just went with the standard spaghetti because that's how that's how you feed a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
You get the big things of spaghetti sauce and then a lot of
You can
pasta.
make it efficiently.
You can make bread. Bread's cheap, right?
Yeah.
And then, you get a little dessert. We had a couple helpers with us, but I was in that kitchen for 8 hours that day. I was bored. I was just a kid. But I learned a lot just being there, and I want to give that experience to my son someday. Go out and help, at a food shelter, food drive, or a kitchen somewhere, and just make a meal. Maybe try to do that once or twice, maybe more a year, just to give back time. You don't have to always give back money.
Right.
You can give your time.
Yeah.
And you can, volunteer and do certain things like that. And do it more so, you could do it throughout the year. It doesn't necessarily have to be a holiday.
Right.
I think there's more than enough people in this area that volunteered during the holidays. Because I looked up trying to volunteer during one of the holidays. They're like, we have so much help.
Right.
Check back with us in an off month, right?
Yeah,
when there's
like-
not too many people in the spirit.
Like
right?
April or
when they're not in the spirit of giving
September.
back. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So
Well, yeah, because usually the holidays kind of draws, that kind of attention
people
to
are
it.
in the mood to give back and be charitable and stuff. So,
But it's those off months, where there's not a whole lot of demand.
Think about them summer months too.
Yeah, the summer months and stuff. And it can be some things just so simple as I remember back in high school, we were just making, it was a holiday thing, but we were just making Christmas ornaments for the Scottish Rite Hospital for their Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And we were just making ornaments. That's it. Just out of construction paper or something, which was cool. They had like different organizations that would come in and help out with all that, depending on the level and your experience and all that. But just simple stuff that just kind of made it like it saved somebody who was deeply involved in organization time. It saves them time from having to do another task and focus on something a little bit more important.
Right.
So for those volunteers that are more professional and trained, to work with these kids,
Right.
They didn't have to worry about making Christmas ornaments, for the tree, which totally makes sense,
They could do other things.
They can do other things and focus on other things that require their attention, a little bit more focus on their attention. Yeah. But for the most part, I just think people just need to just kind of try to put themselves in other people's shoes. Someone that absolutely has nothing in common with you.
Well, a lot of, I think, definitely a part of the homeless population, there are people who have bad accidents too.
Yeah.
They'll have a bad accident, they don't have great insurance, and that makes them poor.
Mm-hmm.
They lose everything because of their medical expenses. I think a lot of it is people with just burying medical bills and stuff like that, or they get amnesia from an accident and they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I know someone in particular. I won't get totally into that story, but people can lose their life like that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just one day wake up and they're in a horrific accident, or they fall off a ladder or a roof or something.
and it just stops them from living their life.
Stops
and
them from moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they should have.
Yeah, I mean, I've
And then they're just in that cycle.
I've known people like
Yeah.
that, but I didn't at first. I didn't know them that they were in that situation, you know. And it's just because, like I remember when I was in school, there were a couple of boys that were in that situation that I didn't know, and it was hard to understand, like, because I had questions. I always like asking questions about how they got into that situation and all that, and it wasn't. They're doing better now.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of them actually owns his own business, you know, so it's actually good that, you know, you start off young and you know, especially, you know, their parents just weren't in a good situation, basically, and they were homeless. But to be able to work through all that, you know, this person learned that he had nothing, a lot, you know, he didn't have a whole lot physically, you know, tangible, growing up. And so to be in the position that he's in now, I would think that he's a little bit more understanding of people in similar situations,
Right,
you know,
right.
of those that, you know, those people that say, well, I worked my ass off and no one gave me anything. And it's like, and that's a good mentality to have. But again, not everybody's going to be in your situation either.
Yeah.
There are some people that are given things and we're fortunate enough to have parents who had money and were both doctors or both this or, you know, whatever.
Or had both parents.
Or had both parents, you know?
I mean, that in itself is a privileged blessing.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't, you know, and
Yeah.
even then, you know, because I knew this one guy in college that he had money, but did not have a good relationship with his father.
Yeah.
And just basically, he was a medical school dropout, and he went to film school instead. And he basically just told me, it's like, I don't care about the money. I really don't. It's like, I think it's just a waste, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that he would just give it up, you know. You know, so again, everybody has a different story, different situation. So don't just assume something about someone.
Absolutely.
Unless you absolutely know them, you know. But,
That's right.
But other than that, all right, let's go ahead and take a little break. I think we talked about this depressing topic for a little bit. Hopefully we opened up some eyes.
Yeah.
You know.
Give back.
Yeah, exactly. But when we come back, we'll get into something a little bit more fun.
Yes, sir.
They are just one step away from an OnlyFans page. You're listening to House of Machismo.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. 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 Stacy, can I come over after school? After school, we can hang around by the pool. Hang by the pool. Did your mom get back from her business trip? Business trip. Is she there, or is she trying to give me the slip? You know I'm not the little boy that I used to be. I'm all grown up now, baby, can't you see? Stacy's mom has got it going on. She's all I want, and I've waited for so long. Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Stacy's mom. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy, do you remember when I mowed your lawn? Your mom came out with just a towel on. I could tell she liked me from the way she stared. And the way she said, you missed a spot over there. And I know that you think it's just a fantasy, but since your dad walked out, your mom could use a guy like me. Stacy's mom has got
Hello, my House of Machismo peeps. This is Marty with House of Machismo. I want to tell you about the awesome weather that we've been having. I've been barbecuing. Luis has bought another kayak. So you know what this means, right? Spring is here, and it's time that we all started venturing outdoors into our backyards. By doing so comes a little problem, though. Those damn bugs. If you have a roach problem or a termite problem, bed bugs, even fleas and ticks, mosquitoes, then Manny Perez is the guy who you want to call. He is the proud owner of Assurance Pest and Termite. This family-owned business established itself in North Texas for the last 16 years. He is also licensed by the Texas Department of Agriculture, so he knows what he's talking about. Go ahead and quiz him on the spot. He doesn't mind. Assurance Pest and Termite will give you free estimates. They can do pre-treatments before the problem even begins. They are bilingual in Spanish, which is pretty cool. I mean, do you know how to say termite in Spanish? Because I sure don't. The reviews from his clients speak for themselves. Manny is amazing. Manny's the absolute best. I'm happy with the service. And now let's read the reviews from the exterminating company. Anyway, I'm telling you, Assurance Pest and Termite is great. They aim to satisfy. Give them a call or a text. 214-998-3989. 214-998-3989 or visit assurancepest.com. Call now.
Oh my God. This announcer job is hard work. I don't think I can keep going. My throat is so sore.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You're the one singing 80s top hits at the top of your lungs. Now come on, Ian. Just one more take. You can do it.
You said that 5 takes ago. I'm starting to not believe you.
It's okay. We're almost done.
But I'm so thirsty.
You can have a drink when I say you can have a drink. Look, all you have to do is say how House of Machismo can turn your day around, make you laugh when you need it. I even think it helps cure infertility and erectile dysfunction. But I'm not a doctor, but I have seen plenty of YouTube videos.
Okay, let's get this over with. You want me to include how anyone can listen on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio?
Yes. You want to sing one more top 80s hit?
Yes.
2, 3, go.
She's a super freak, she's super freaky, yow. She's a very kinky girl, the kind you don't take home to mother.
I'll admit I was wrong. What else can I say, girl? Can't you play my head and not my heart? I was drunk, I was gone. That don't make it right, but I promise there were no feelings involved. She said, boy, tell me honestly, was it real or just for show? Yeah. She said, save your apologies. Baby, I just gotta know. How long has this been going on? You've been creeping around on me while you're calling me baby. How long has this been going on? You've been acting so shady. I've been feeling it lately, baby. I'll admit it's my fault, but you gotta believe me when I say it only happened once. I tried and I tried, but you'll never see that. You're the only one I wanna love. Oh yeah. She said, boy, tell me honestly, was it real or just for show? She said, save your apologies. Baby, I just gotta know. knows for sure. Yeah. She said, save your apologies. Baby, I just gotta know. How long has this been going on? You've been creeping around on me while you're calling me baby. How long has this been going on? You've been acting so shady. I've been feeling it lately.
Welcome back to House of Machismo with Marty, Luis, Chris, and K-Rod. You're listening to House of Machismo.
Hey, that guy was right. You are listening to House of Machismo. Isn't that right, Chris?
That's a funky beat. I like that beat.
That is a cool beat. So anyway, welcome back. And what were we talking about while we weren't recording or anything? We were talking about something. I don't remember what we were talking
Chipotle,
about.
turtles.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was at Chipotle on Friday. And I do love me some Chipotle. I can actually enjoy it all, you know.
I love a Chipotle.
And I don't have any kind of consequences or anything like that like some people do.
Chipotle.
Yeah. But there is something that did happen at Chipotle that kind of ticked me off and almost made me bring my inner Karen out, but I didn't.
Did you leave a review at this location?
No, I didn't know.
Google Map it?
I don't know. I don't get into that kind of stuff like Yelp and all that.
Yeah.
So I walk into Chipotle and there's this. I let this lady go in front of me, so she gets her order done and all that. Like, hi, ma'am, how can I help you? And you know, they help her out. And then I'm next, and then the guy says, "Oh, hold on one second. Hold on. Let me. I need to take care of this real quick."
Yeah.
And apparently, he's trying to fulfill 2 online orders.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, okay, this shouldn't take too long. They move kind of fast. I was standing there a good 5-6 minutes waiting for this to finish the order.
What was the order?
It had to do something with these tortillas, but these smaller tortillas. But he was trying to open them, but he couldn't open them. And he's like, well, that's not going to work. So then he goes to look at the order, the receipt order, and he's looking at it for a good 30-40 seconds, and I'm all like, are you fulfilling an online order? You know, just like that, like I'm trying to get information, but I'm also trying to be playful about it, like, hey, I'm just joking around. And he's like, yeah, and he starts he grabs some tortillas from the back, he starts heating them up, and then he starts looking at it like, you know, what kind of rice. And so he takes a bit of the last bit of the brown rice that I was going to ask for.
Damn.
And he starts like putting them all together, but then he doesn't quite complete them either because someone else hands him another online order. And I'm like, so finally I say, well, you know, you're fulfilling those online orders, but I'm right here.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, oh, I know, but I got to get these done. And I said, but I'm here. Like, I'm physically right here. Say hello.
My time.
Yeah, it's like, hello, I'm a customer, like physically here. This person just kind of decided to be lazy and order online. You know, they don't know any better. You know, they don't know what's going on.
No.
You know, and
Being lazy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And that was starting to make me angry because it's like, that's not cool. It's like, you don't treat your customers like that. At least the ones that are here, you know?
Yeah.
And so, he eventually got the hint.
Yeah.
But that was a good like 6 minutes over. Like I was really thinking about going to Potbelly's right next door.
Damn, I love Potbelly's too. Shout out Potbelly's.
Potbelly's. No, it's not Pink Bellies. It's Potbelly's.
Shout out the rack on wheat.
Yeah.
Big rack on wheat with the peppers. Oh.
I do the grilled chicken sandwich with mushrooms and bacon and just have them put everything in there.
But shout out burrito bowls. I love a good Chipotle run.
You see, and that's the thing. It's like I do enjoy the burrito bowl,
Yeah.
and Oscar's shaking his head because he enjoys the burrito for some reason. I like the bowl
You like
because
the
I can I buy the chips and I use it.
Yeah. Oh,
You know.
you got to.
Yeah.
It's like a big dip.
Yeah. Pretty much. And then
Oh, those chips are.
they're
fabulous.
really good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
And then I get the oh god, what is it? I get the that peach nectar drink, whatever. There's nothing but sugar.
I get the water cup and fill it up with soda.
Do you?
Yeah,
Oh, I used to do that, but then
that's how I roll.
then I got a job. No, I used to do that back in the day, but then I feel like I'm too old for this. Don't worry, maybe one day you might get there. Chris.
Jesus.
You might get there, Chris.
So I just looked up Chipotle stock.
Yeah.
So I have a story that I'll get into. I used to work for Chipotle
Yes.
back in the day.
And bless you.
when I had nothing going on.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of time in my life where I had nothing going on.
Yeah. We figured why not work at Chipotle?
Chipotle stock right now is at $1,300 a share. Back when I worked at Chipotle, it was $200 a share. This was about 12 years ago.
So
That's crazy.
there's a couple of things that go on with Chipotle right now.
That's
Is that
crazy.
I believe that they're gonna go up in price about 30-40 cents per order.
They keep going up in price.
Right. But they're saying it's because of the higher cost in wages they're going to be paying their
They have
paying
to,
their
yeah.
employee. I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know,
Oh,
definitely.
they need to. I remember when I worked there, what was I making? I was making $8.
Yeah.
That was like 70. That was like what, a quarter over minimum wage, making $8.50 or something like that, and barely getting 40 hours because they would rotate. They'll rotate you once you hit 30 hours. You're done for the week, right?
Yeah.
And when I was working there, man, it was tough. I worked at the one in Louisville off 35 and 121. That one was crazy busy.
I don't think I ever came across a Chipotle that didn't get busy.
This one was busy from 11 to about 2 was our 3-hour lunch rush.
Wow.
I don't know why, because we were right there off a huge corridor. We would always have like traveling colleges or high schools come in, and then a whole bus just unloads on us, and we got to
That's gotta be the worst.
We got to keep the chicken and the carne asada and the steak on the
you know
grill.
What, you know what annoys
the
me
whole
the
time.
most?
Once you take it off and clean the grill, you got to put a whole row on.
You know what annoys me the most, and I'm
What?
sure it probably annoyed you guys, is that when one person comes in but has 5 orders.
Oh yeah.
God, that's a whipping.
Or if they come in at like 8:55 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're wondering, well, that doesn't look fresh. Lady, we're about to close.
Everything in Chipotle is pretty fresh. They don't have freezers. They have just regular
Refrigerators.
You know, and I'm just talking from my time 12 years ago when I worked there.
Yeah.
About 12 years ago. And everything came in that day or the day before, and we had to prep. I mean, there's 2 hours of prep. You prep the morning, preps for the afternoon. The afternoon, evening people prep for the next morning, and then that's how they do it. They would weigh their waste every evening.
Yeah.
They weighed how much that the end of the shift had left over, right?
Yeah.
Which was so they could get it down to a science of how much to exactly cook
Yeah.
that particular day or how much they need to prep. That's how Chipotle is, bro. I learned a lot about running a restaurant just by working at Chipotle.
Because they're so efficient.
And everything is by hand there, man. I had to chop up pounds of jalapenos and
Yeah.
onions
Ooh.
and bell peppers
Oscar would be like, jalapenos?
to make the fresh salsa and everything.
Yeah.
You get some jalapeno juice in your eye, it's not good.
Well, when you have it on well, you guys wear gloves, you know, obviously. But then,
Oh, yeah.
But the thing,
It was good times.
now, I remember with Chipotle, the one closest to my neighborhood, when they just barely opened up, they hired all these teenagers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, oh, well, teenagers, you know, they're going to suck. They're not going to know what to do.
Yeah.
In a way, they did, and
They
then
do.
they didn't.
They still do.
These teenagers, they knew how to do it,
Yeah.
meaning like how to wait on you and all that
Right.
stuff. They were great. They were so polite.
Yeah, they'll turn it up when they have to.
But the portions, they didn't know how to dole it out. No,
yeah.
hold on. This was good because they would dole out so much more.
So they went overboard.
They went
and they didn't try to
overboard with
skimp
it.
you. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because they weren't quite sure with the portions.
We had like extra rice.
And then one of them kind of messed up. Like I think because I wanted the brown rice.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So all he had to do was go in the back and grab the brown rice thing and put it in there. And that was it. That's all he had to do.
Yeah.
So then he gave me half off because of that wait. Dude, it was barely even 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You know, I was like, oh, this is great. So I went back there at least 3 more times before. Probably some manager had to talk with them.
Yeah.
Had to talk with them.
They checked the books on that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, oh, well, that was good while it lasted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was this Chipotle that I used to go to years downtown over by the West End. And we used to fax in our orders back in the day when they were doing like, I don't know if they still do fax orders or not. I know they do online orders.
Faxed orders.
Yeah, we had to fax it in, but we also get half off. If you fax it in, you get half off. Now, we used to go for years at this Chipotle. It was very popular among everybody downtown. And then one day, this video surfaced of these rats falling out of the ceiling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And not only that, but they have these glass doors, these huge glass windows and glass doors like floor to ceiling. And so you see the rats struggling, trying to get out,
Yeah.
you know, through the glass, but they can't. Somebody finally just had to crack the door open a little bit just to let the rats out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't just one rat.
Yeah.
There were like 5 or 6 rats.
Mm-hmm.
And they were big. And the thing is that was the end of that Chipotle there. But
Shout out Ratatouille.
yeah, dude, but it wasn't Chipotle's fault.
No.
It was building management's fault.
Yeah. Was it in a strip mall type of thing, or was it a solo building?
No. It was not. I don't want to say a strip mall. It's like one of those historic buildings downtown.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been to the West
So
End.
it was a suite that was built out in a bigger building.
Exactly. So on the bottom floors they have restaurants, and on the top floors they have like office buildings or office space.
Yeah.
And so it's just an old building, and apparently old building with a rat problem. But it made that Chipotle close. Like within the next few days, it closed, and then it never reopened. That's been years,
Right.
and it's still nothing's there right now. Apparently something else is going to open pretty soon, but I don't know. But they had to do like a whole remodel and just basically reinvent the space.
Yeah.
But that was our to-go Chipotle spot. But the idea was that I thought they were my job. Everybody there thought, oh, well, they're just going to temporarily close, clean up, and fix the problem, and then reopen. And a lot of people are saying, well, I'm never going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Well, I'm not going to go. One person saying, I'm not going to go there. No, but I said, I'll go there.
Yeah.
It's like I trust them enough. It's like, that if they had a problem like that, I'll give them the opportunity to clean up. Especially now, though, I'm sure they'll be on top of their game now.
It's a Dallas rat, right? It's not a New York City rat.
No. This Dallas
little
rat
bit cleaner.
had a big cowboy hat, boots, spurs, all that stuff. Carried a sidearm. Yeah, no, it was a Dallas rat.
Republican rat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's like 4 more years, but yeah, it wasn't like a New York rat. It's like, hey, you, what you doing, huh?
Did you know that little history on Chipotle? Did you know that McDonald's...
That's printed on their bags? No, go on.
Did you know that McDonald's was a investor originally in Chipotle?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they helped get them going. So the story is that they helped the owner. They helped the owner with all these restaurants. So the way Chipotle expanded so quickly is McDonald's agreed to let them put their food on all their McDonald's trucks, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they didn't have to pay for their own fleet or whatever.
Yeah.
To deliver their trucks and all this stuff. And so Chipotle, though, the situation was people started seeing McDonald's trucks in Chipotle parking lots offloading food, and Chipotle is here claiming to be organic and healthy, health conscious, all this other free range stuff, right? And there started to be a little bit of backlash because this was around the time when that guy who did the documentary Super Super Size Me,
Yeah.
who ate McDonald's 3 times a day
For like a month. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this was when McDonald's was getting a bad reputation for just being unhealthy food. So why is McDonald's and Chipotle, is it the same food? Are they getting it from the same? So there's a big thing, and then the owner of Chipotle said, we're going to buy all our shares back. We don't want to be associated with McDonald's anymore, this and that and the other, and they kind of went their separate ways. But McDonald's helped Chipotle through piggybacking on their transportation system, their what do you call it, logistics. They helped them grow that much faster.
Isn't it weird?
By not having to pay for that extra transportation stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, everything was fine until people started being cynical about stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, the Chipotle I worked at, I was probably the only white boy on staff.
Oh, okay.
It was a crew of...
So how long did you until you made manager?
I didn't make manager.
Okay.
The manager was white too, but he gave me no privilege.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he worked my ass even harder. I was the only white boy on staff. There might have been another. I recall there was maybe a black girl also on staff. The rest of the staff was all Spanish.
What does she look like?
Spanish and Mexican. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Oscar. That's a question Oscar would ask. Anyway, going.
But dude, I just remember this guy. He ran this place efficient, and I don't know. I think maybe he mistreated some of these workers because some of these workers were probably undocumented. This was a while ago. Do you remember when Chipotle cracked down on undocumented workers? Like the government started cracking down. There was a news story. If you Google it, you'll find it. That Chipotle, there was some type of research going on where Chipotle had like 90 or 80% of their hourly workers were undocumented workers.
Oh wow!
And that was before this, and I kind of, when that story came out, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. And I would see there were times where this manager guy would like be yelling and berating some of these workers in the back for like coming in just like 15 minutes late or bringing in their family members to get a free meal and stuff, and he would feed them and stuff like that. But I was just like, man, this guy's a little out of line. I'm not gonna, I'm new, I've only been here a few weeks, I'm not gonna say much, but that was kind of crazy. Yeah. But he ran a tight ship over there at that Louisville location, and
oh my God,
he did help a lot of. I did see a lot of the guys that were with him for a long time. He helped get them their own store. Yeah. He helped a couple guys get their own stores in different areas, and he tried to do that for me, but it just didn't come quick enough, and I was done working in the restaurant business at that point. I had worked in a lot of different restaurants. I had my own restaurant for about a year. And at that point, I was like, I'm sick of this shit. And I remember one summer, it was so hot in that kitchen. It was so hot outside. I walked outside. I busted open the back door to catch a nice cool breeze. The air outside was hotter than the air over the grill. And it just, it felt like I was in the middle of a boiler. Air just blasted me, and I could not get cooler. I'd come
you
home
guys don't
sweaty.
get sufficient air conditioning back there.
I would go hang out. I would go hang out in the refrigerator. Yeah. And just chill for like 5 minutes. It was brutal.
It was a walk-in one, right?
Yeah. It was a nice walk-in one.
That's where you set up your office.
I'd go hang out back there. I'd be like looking at the sour cream and okay, yeah, let's get this stuff. I would take my time. I'd be like prepping, take me 5 minutes to go get something out of the refrigerator.
How much Chipotle did you get?
Oh, we would get a free meal every shift. Oh, that was probably the best part of working there. Yeah. Probably better than just making $8 an hour. Yeah. And I would customize my bowl.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. That was the best part of it.
I had a friend that used to work for Jack in the Box back in the day when she was a teenager. And they would customize their free meals all the time, you know. Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's such a special treat.
I worked at Domino's once when I was like 19. Used to make customized pizzas. Worked at Sonic when I was like back when minimum wage was $15 or $5 an hour. Yeah, $5.15. We were just high school.
See,
kids,
but you can be inventive.
That was the worst though. You smell like grease. Like ugh.
Well, Sonic, I think I enjoy a good meal from Sonic,
yeah.
but
shout out Sonic.
But man, they make so much of different things in there that I don't know how they keep it all straight. You know, so many different options,
It's
so
wild.
many different drinks.
It's wild.
You know, I don't know.
You know you're supposed to tip your roller.
You're supposed to tip your Sonic employee.
Yeah,
when they
if you're
deliver your
if you're
food.
I don't know if they do it anymore, but if you're a car hop and you rollerblade, you like made an extra 30 cents an hour.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long. I don't think they do that anymore. It's way too dangerous.
They
right
may
now.
not. They
Yeah.
may not. But I remember you could either be on foot or you could, if you rollerbladed or did the roller skates, you'd make an extra 35 cents an hour.
I would totally roller skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time there was this when I worked at Sonic, there was a guy who opted to roller skate, and he pissed everybody off. He was one of these guys who was just he was cool, but he was kind of douchey.
So everybody threw like ball bearings
And
in front of
nerdy.
him.
No, when he took his shoes off and was working his shift, I was in the kitchen working. I took his shoes, put them in the freezer, the walk-in freezer,
Yeah.
and dumped water all over them
Oh.
so they could freeze to the
Yeah.
freezer ground. Yeah, it was.
He's
good
all like,
times.
not cool, man.
Yeah, he
that's
was-
not cool.
Exactly. It was not confrontational at all. It was just not cool, man. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mess with him anymore. He later became a deputy for the sheriff's office. One of those guys.
Oh, okay. He's still saying,
when
not
you get
cool,
picked
man.
on, you become a cop.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
become a sheriff deputy.
Mm-hmm.
Down people.
Yeah. They're like, not cool, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I hated. Probably one of my favorite dead end jobs was working at a coffee shop as a barista. You get to smell all the coffee beans, espresso beans, and that just stimulates you, releases
Without having to drink the
a
coffee.
nice rush of endorphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just straight huff espresso beans every day. I loved it. Do you like coffee?
I enjoy coffee. I'm not particularly picky about it, meaning that I don't have to have it a certain way or anything.
Now, mind you, I never drank coffee. This was probably when I was 24. Hadn't had a cup of coffee. I hated coffee. Never drank lattes or cappuccinos. But when I got this job and I started drinking it, I became hooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how you get hooked.
I do, I think Starbucks is the only place that I go to get coffee.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just make it here at home.
We used to diss Starbucks.
Oh, really?
Because we were a mom and pop place.
Yeah.
And we of course our stuff was better. We had South American beans.
Yeah.
and
See, and
things
I'm
like
not, and
that.
I'm not really that picky about the type of bean or whatever.
Yeah.
So as long as it's caffeinated and I get to put creamer in it,
I just know we used
I'm
to have a
good.
lot of Starbucks employees come into our place and be like, "Your guys' coffee is so much better. It doesn't
Yeah.
taste burnt." I'm like, "Well, you guys probably need to clean your machine better.
Yeah,
That's
well-
probably the problem."
I actually wouldn't get coffee at Starbucks. I usually get just the
Yeah,
frappuccinos.
you get the frou drinks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know.
exactly. But see, nowadays, like whenever I'm craving a frappuccino or something like that, I pretty much just want like 2 or 3 drinks from it. Like I really don't actually
Yeah.
want the whole thing.
You like the iced coffee?
Yeah, iced
like the
coffee's
colder
cool.
stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, like my coffee right now, it's cold, but I'm still drinking. I'm still
Yeah,
drinking it.
Got to.
Yeah, it's all about the flavor, I guess. But for me, I don't put any sugar because the cream is just sweet enough.
So what
Sorry.
happened with your Chipotle order? Did you end up getting it, or did you
Oh
walk out?
yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, originally what we talked about, huh? I did end up getting it, and after several minutes, and while I'm being worked down the line, they kept pausing for that online order,
Damn. Yeah.
and they kept. Because the guy up front starts it, and then the guy in the middle starts it. So then, when he starts taking over that online order,
he doesn't know where you
I
left
told
off.
I
or
no,
whatever.
I told
Yeah.
him it's like, dude, that's not my order.
Yeah.
That's my order.
Yeah.
And he looks at me confused because
Yeah.
he's like, well, wait a minute. I thought, because I think he was supposed to finish the online order. And I kept on saying, when he starts working on the online order, I said, no, dude, that's my order right there.
Yeah.
That's not mine. I don't know whose that is,
Yeah.
but that's mine. So finally he gets the hint.
Yeah.
And so he starts working on mine. I think he finally realized, let me just finish this asshole.
Are you getting annoyed?
I'm getting annoyed because it's like, mine is right there, and now it's going to get cold.
Yeah.
Because you're waiting. So 2 things happened. One, I was going to tip them, but when I run my card, there's no option to tip.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, shit. It's like, because I wanted to compensate them for dealing with me, because, I was kind of an asshole, but like a playful kind of an asshole. That
Right.
sounds weird. But you know what I mean.
X-rated.
Yeah. Anyway, and so I pay for my order and I go to sit down, and then I go to get my fork. Dude, it was like that ironic song, 10,000 spoons, but all you need is a knife. There was nothing but spoons. Nothing but spoons in every single container. So then when I go back up front, they still are completing online orders. Mm-hmm. And so then the guy's like literally like putting his finger up, like, I'll be with you in a second. And I'm patient. I'm like, that's cool. So then finally he comes up. He's like, what can we help you with anything? And I say, I just need a fork. And he's all like, I'm sorry, I don't think we have any more forks. That's all we have up there, spoons. I go, oh.
We got to use your chips.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I forgot. So then I said, okay, I guess I'll just eat with my hands. Okay. So then I go back and I realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm eating with my chips.
Yeah.
Because and then I realize, well, I can take the spoon because I like to mix it up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I can use the spoon for that. But I think if I run out of chips, I like to use the fork.
I do like a fork over a spoon.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Yeah. And so, I guess I preferred a fork. I just didn't really think it all the way through. Yeah. But by that, because I think I was just so disappointed. I mean, the food was good, and they were polite. Yeah. No disrespect to them at all. And I know they had to have. I did keep an eye on that online order. Mm-hmm. So when they finished it, I saw them take it to that little shelf where they put it, and the lady was just walking in just as he was putting it on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And so he put it on the shelf. She's right there. She takes it and goes. And then as she's walking by, I'm like, that's the bitch that caused all the problems.
Yeah. Well, now you know that you live in two worlds. You live in a digital world, and you live in the physical world, where they both have to coexist.
They do, but together. I do appreciate the more attention to the person that's in the physical world, because we're literally right there.
I think if I was a food manager, you have to. Well, I recall a lot of Chipotles that I go to have a back section set up to where they do particularly online orders, and then the front section is just for people who are coming in.
Not the newly designed boxy built Chipotles.
They make them small.
Yeah. And even the seating area is small. It's very compact. What makes it look big is the high ceilings. That's it.
Corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the unusable space,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. And so everything is all small and compact. And I do remember that Chipotle downtown, the one that closed with all the rats, they did have a back area that was set up just like the front, and they were the ones handling all the online orders or the faxed orders.
Phone orders.
All that stuff.
That's how you run an efficient place. You got to have a space in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You have people that do their roles. You can't have a cook do dishes too, right? You can't have a cook running food to the line, right? And a lot of these places cut corners to save $1.
Yeah.
And they try to put multiple hats on multiple people when it would run way more efficient if you just have one person do one thing. And then if a few hours into their shift, they can change and be the dishwasher, or they can change and cut up 80 pounds of onions by hand. Things like that. That's how you run an efficient restaurant.
Yeah, come on, Chipotle.
I grew up in restaurants, so I know a little bit about restaurants and how to run them.
Chipotle needs to get their crap together. Yeah. And their delicious food together.
Yeah, they're doing good, though. $1,300 a share.
Yeah. That's not bad. So they can afford to pay their employees a little bit more an hour.
It's almost like gold.
Without having to actually raise their prices as much. But I mean, 30, 40 cents, that's not bad. I don't care about that. And I think the employees do deserve a raise.
I feel like they've raised it 30, 40 cents every year for the last 6 years.
I don't think it has something...
I remember when I first used to buy burritos, I could get out of there without the chips, without anything, for under $6 back 10 years ago, right? Now, I can't get out of there for under 10.
If you look it up on your phone, they're saying that the portions have actually gotten smaller.
Well, I asked for extra rice, so...
Well, I mean, like they're comparing it to like other burritos, or like the ones, like they said that the portion prices have gone up, but the portions have gotten smaller. So this burrito isn't as big. Because I remember getting these big burritos, probably about like this big, And sure enough, my friend the other day got a burrito.
Yeah,
it just didn't look as big.
I remember the tortilla. I remember watching our rollers. The tortillas would be busting.
Yeah.
They'd have to get a new tortilla to roll it.
Yeah, that's true.
It used to
They
be
need
an
to
art
make-
form to roll one of those things.
And now they break open.
Yeah.
I think they need to come up with some new technology, some new Kevlar tortillas or something to kind of keep all that goodness in there. Yeah, because if my friend because he didn't get rice with his order.
Yeah.
So if he gotten rice, he said that it would have busted out.
Do you like the Tabasco sauce on there?
I don't like Tabasco sauce, period.
I like the green Tabasco sauce.
What does that taste like?
It tastes wonderful.
I guess
just a
compared to
beautiful thing.
the regular
The regular
sauce.
Tabasco sauce is just hot and peppery, right?
Yeah.
The green one has more flavor. I don't know what's all in it, but it's just more of, to me, it's more like a lime heat. It's flavorful. I love it. I love the green one.
I'm just not a big fan of the regular Tabasco sauce or what is it, Kahlua sauce or whatever.
You not like hot sauce in general?
I do like hot sauces.
Like on eggs or anything? You put them on eggs?
I can put pico de gallo in my eggs. I could put salsa
Yeah.
in my eggs, but just not Tabasco
Yeah.
or those kind of weird tomatoey kind of.
I mean, I don't do it all the time, but every now and then I like to mix it up. I'll throw a little splash of hot sauce on it just to get some heat going.
Yeah, I mean, I do like salsa. I do like spiciness. You
Yeah.
know, like, but just Tabasco itself, I'm just not a fan
It's
of it.
funny.
And I think that people that like it are weird.
You
Anyway,
ever
go on.
see they have like holsters for Tabasco sauce?
Yeah. Oh, that's actually not bad. Oscar needs some.
What?
In fact, he was complaining today because I made some breakfast pizzas. I made them. I warmed them up.
You a
that
Tabasco guy? Yeah.
he didn't have Tabasco sauce. That I didn't have Tabasco sauce, and he forgot his that he normally carries in his car at his house.
On everything?
Not everything.
Everything.
I'll even put it on chicken sometimes.
He puts it
A
on
little fried
everything.
chicken.
He puts it on everything.
I like honey on chicken. You ever tried honey on fried chicken?
Yes.
Just so I don't plaster it on there. I just put a little dip
A coat,
on there and
coat
a little,
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like it because I like. Don't get me started on Church's biscuits because they have honey on them.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, they're so good.
Biscuits.
They're so good.
We could do a whole segment on biscuits. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
man.
Anyway,
Biscuits and gravy. Shout out biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Shout out Popeye's biscuits. Shout out everything.
yeah. But yeah, I do like honey on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But not like drenched. I have a friend that will drench his biscuits and stuff with honey, and I'm like, that's just overkill.
I know I'm in the South and ranch is king. Never
Forget that.
Never
No.
heard of ranch until I moved down south.
Oh, really?
Like ranch was a salad dressing in the
Yeah.
north in Chicago. And then there was just not that many. I mean, there's fried foods up there, but it wasn't like everything down here. It's like a side
Fried
of fried
everything.
food, and then
Yeah.
you gotta have ranch. But I came down here and I seen somebody dipping their pizza in ranch.
It started off with pizza.
And I was mortified at 1st, okay? But then I started tasting the pizza around here, and then I got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so they need to doctor it up with some ranch.
So they started offering, a lot of restaurants, especially the fast food places, started offering ranch as much as they offered ketchup.
Got to down here,
You
for
know?
sure. Yeah.
Especially, what is it, Little Caesars? Is it Little Caesars? Yeah, they
Or
have their own.
Cece's.
Yeah, Cece's. They all have their little ranch packets and
Shout
all
out
that.
the pizza buffet,
Yeah.
$5.99. Oof.
Is it still $5.99?
It's $5 or $6.99. They might up it $1.
I can't do buffets anymore because I will not get my money's worth out of
The
it.
germaphobe thing.
No, it's just
the panty
I used to weigh a lot more,
Right. Yeah.
and I used to do like the whole buffets and everything like that, and just go
Well,
crazy.
there's just a lot less buffets in general now.
Yeah,
The only thing that's a buffet left is your Chinese buffet now.
I used to
Seems
go
like.
crazy at a Chinese buffet. Just
Used to be
eat.
nuts. There used to be great buffets up in
Yeah.
Chicago. Not anymore. And I think a lot of it's due to just germs, I guess, or they
I think
just
people
didn't make money or something. I don't know.
Here, I don't know about the buffets here because I really haven't kept up with them. But
kinda help.
there was a couple of Chinese buffets that I would go to, but now it's like I just won't get my money's worth out of it. Meaning that I'll eat until I'm satisfied, and then that's it. I won't
Yeah,
eat
because you're
till
trying
I'm
to
full.
control your portions.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Yeah, you're
And
trying to be a
so-
little more health conscious.
And so I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna spend $17 on a buffet,
right.
But I will spend $30 on a meal.
Yeah.
Because of the quality, because I'll go to a
course.
Chinese restaurant and
Of course, hibachi.
yeah, what is it? Where do I go? Henry Wang's or what is that place? Yeah, these places that have a little bit more quality
Where's
to their
Henry
food.
Wang's?
No, it's
Where's that?
Henry Wang's. That's over here on Midway and Northwest Highway.
Is that more upscale?
I guess so. It's affordable, but yeah, it's very quaint. It's got a good atmosphere inside of it. It's a sit down kind of a restaurant with a waiter and all that. They have a bar. It's a no offense. It's a good white Chinese restaurant place to go.
So the people running are white?
No. But in that neighborhood, that's what
okay.
we
Gotcha.
get. Yeah, my neighborhood. Yeah, and so then there's Fernando's, which is a Tex-Mex place. It's also another place where it's a good, safe white place to go to and all that stuff. They have Mexican, Latin waiters and stuff like that, make it very authentic. But if you're going there for authentic Mexican food, it's not the place to go to. But it's safe if you're not quite sure what kind of Tex-Mex food you like. So some of it is spicy, some of it is not.
Right.
It's a safe place if that's just not your genre.
If you don't have the spice tongue.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
tongue can't handle it.
Exactly.
Like a lot of gringos around here.
But they do have the spice if you ask for it.
Turn it up. Give me a level 5.
Exactly.
See, I'm different. My wife can't handle that much spice. She's been building intolerance a little bit, but
Well, you also got to build up your gastrointestinal area too, because if your tongue can handle it,
I used to have
but sometimes
steel cage for the stomach, but I've been noticing lately that it's seeping.
Yeah,
it's not as
it's
probably corroding from the inside.
Yeah, you gotta watch
I have
that.
to watch out my jalapeno intake.
Yeah,
I can't go hard anymore like I used to with the peppers and stuff.
Is there any kind of issues that I've always had? Cheesecakes gives me issues.
Yeah.
But
that
not spicy.
cream,
I don't know what it is.
maybe
but,
it's that lactose.
Well, see, I can have milk. I can drink straight up milk and be fine.
Yeah,
but it's just cheesecake. But I can have anything spicy. It will not affect me.
I love a good cheesecake too. Are we off over there?
What are we looking at, Oscar?
No battery. I should have 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost done anyway.
So shout out buffets.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh God.
Never go into your favorite restaurant's kitchen. I'll tell you that as being a building inspector. We'll
never go into my kitchen when I'm making you guys breakfast.
I've gone into some kitchens to where I don't want to go to particular restaurants anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But, every kitchen manager is different. Everybody takes pride in keeping a clean place. I've been into some Chinese buffets, kitchens before, and I don't know. You just got to make a calculated decision.
I prefer the places where you can kind of see the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily see all of it, but you can kind of see some of it. I've seen my meal get made before, which is interesting and cool. Like Whataburger, they'll make it right then and there.
Yeah.
Maybe not the fries. I think the fries kind of sit there for a little bit, which is okay. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But I haven't had that in a very long time.
I'll save those stories for another segment. Some of the things I seen
the
in
horror
kitchens,
stories.
Okay,
well maybe we might talk about that.
And it's not all
time.
Chinese buffets too. I've been in a couple breakfast diners that were popular that the kitchen was a little out of shape.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
I've been to some places where it's questionable, but smells so good.
Yeah, I mean the place has got to be. I'm not looking for a place that's spotless because then you're not working.
Right,
it's got to be a little dirty.
And then I don't know. I don't know how to judge it, but I don't know is it common for something to have like a cockroach on the floor?
I'm not I
have no idea.
If you see one in the bathroom,
Right.
They're gonna come out.
But if you see one crawling on the counter,
if you
where
see
you're
one
prepping
that's like right below the grill, though, in the kitchen area or the hallway that they're serving you, and it's just laying there, and no one decided to clean it up,
right?
That's a situation that we're probably gonna leave.
That kind of spells laziness, and so where you're lazy in one area,
I was in South Carolina a couple years ago, and we stopped at this pizzeria, and we seen a rat or a mouse drop from the ceiling, and it was by the soda machine, and my wife saw it and I saw it, and she wanted to get the hell out of there. I stayed and ordered 2 slices and still ate, and she was mortified and she wanted to get the hell out of there, and I was just like, it's just a little rat.
It's like, what are the odds of that rat having interaction with those 2 slices of pizza?
Yeah,
very slim.
We're good.
Yeah, extremely slim.
We're good.
You know, I went to this IHOP over here on Northwest Highway, and I don't go there anymore.
Yeah.
And because, number one, she was a hooker standing right there with her pimp at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought maybe they're just customers, but man, her dress is really short.
Right.
You know, and, but anyways, so we go in and she goes into the restroom and stays there for like several minutes. We're waiting to be seated. Mm-hmm. There's no one there, but we're still waiting to be seated. And the pimp goes into the kitchen into the back. And I'm like, first of all, he smells like horrible cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like he's been smoking for days and has not changed his clothes. Like that waftiness that you get.
Yeah.
And so he goes into the kitchen unquestioned. And I'm like, I wonder if he's working here. Hope he's not starting his shift. But then I realized, oh, wait a minute. But his lady's in the bathroom, still in the restroom. Oh, well. So we get seated and we start, you know, the waitress lady takes our drink orders and all that. And she brings us our silverware. And then I take out my spoon or whatever just because that's what I always do. And I notice that there's still chunks of whatever is still on the spoons.
Man.
And my friend's spoons too. And I go, they need to get us some new silverware.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there waiting. So we're like, maybe we shouldn't stay here. It's like, that's kind of weird. So when we come back, we said, look, we're just going to go. Oh, because we had already ordered our drinks. So she's come back with our drinks. And I say, look, we're just going to go.
Right.
And she's like, why? I said, well, your spoons aren't very clean. They still got food bits on them. And then, I don't know who that guy was earlier, but he just walked into your kitchen. He wasn't in uniform. He definitely didn't look like he worked here, but he just randomly walked into your kitchen.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go.
Yeah.
You know, and suffice it to say, people that actually would go to this IHOP, if you're listening, I mean, I think you know what I'm talking about, because we're talking about, like, that wasn't the first time something like that has happened. And just haven't returned back like that.
Did the pimp ever come out?
I never noticed.
He went back there and made him an omelet.
I guess
something?
so. I mean, he's over there just cooking. Yeah, and if that's the case, it's like, well, why can't I go back there and start making my own kind of food or whatever?
That would be a cool restaurant concept. Come in and make your own deal.
Fuck that! I just do it at home. I'm like, I could just do that at home. This other experience at this same area, Olive Garden. And Olive Garden used to be one of my favorite go-to places, just to have something kind of cool but close to Italian food.
Shout
I guess,
out
I don't
Endless
know.
Breadsticks.
Yeah, dude. I went with my friend and his dad.
Yeah.
And we're eating, and there was this couple that's sitting like pretty far away from us, and it's kind of like in the evening. And we were taking out his dad for his birthday, and his dad doesn't speak English. You know, he speaks Spanish.
No habla.
No. And so we're just chit-chatting and all that stuff. And I start overhearing the guy on the other end of the area where we are. And he's with his girl. And he's always on the phone. The girl ain't saying nothing. But then the guy on the phone, he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to go settle up with this guy. He keeps staring at my girl. Yeah, it's like and I'm like wondering, who's this guy talking about? Like, we're minding our own business.
Oh, shit.
And so finally, yeah, I'll let you know what goes down. I'm just going to go settle up with them.
Teal.
So then he gets up and starts heading to our table.
Oh, shit.
And he goes to my friend's dad.
Yeah.
And he's about to say something. It's like, yo, man, why are you staring at my girl? And my friend's dad has absolutely no idea what this guy's saying. So my friend and I, we both stand up and stand in front of him. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, no, this ain't between you two. It's between you, me and him over here staring at my girl.
Yeah.
And then my friend is like, well, that's my dad, motherfucker. You know, it's like, you know, step back. And so we get closer. Like, we're literally like, we might as well be making out. We're like that close. So finally, one of the waiters comes in and just kind of pushes us, you know, just kind of like gets in between us and all that stuff. And so basically, we tell the guy off, and he leaves with his girl. His girl just looks like just nonchalant, just like, this happens, you know, whatever. So she leaves. Yeah. And so apparently, we want to talk with the manager. And so eventually the manager shows up. First of all, my first instinct is that, you know, this guy threatened us, so I definitely want to call the police. This definitely would be a situation like that.
Right.
You know. And so the manager comes over. First of all, that's not on his mind at all. He just wanted to make sure that everything was okay, and he thanked us for being at the restaurant.
Pay your bill.
No.
Did you comp
we
your-
paid
you
our
get- you get
no,
your
we
meal
paid
comped?
no. We paid our own bill. And the manager was just saying, if we have any questions or concerns that we can let him know and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, okay, well, this is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and we told him, we're like, you know what, this restaurant has been going downhill quite a bit and we probably won't be coming back anymore.
Classy Olive Garden.
It's that one on Northwest Highway over by Technology Boulevard. It's not a really good area, and that Olive Garden has just been going downhill.
Damn.
You know, yeah, we haven't. As a matter of fact, going in that day, going in at that time, there was a guy just standing there. You know, they have like a little bench area where people can sit. There was a guy there just asking for money, just standing there, but he was high. He was obviously high.
Yeah.
And apparently our friend got into it with him on the way out. And so that was a situation up there. And so we're like, well, we're just going to randomly walk to our car now after getting into it with this guy over here. Bye.
So Olive Garden is a magnet for situations.
It's going to turn ghetto.
Olive Garden's the ghetto.
Now it is. At least my opinion.
Used to be Red Lobster. Now it's Olive Garden.
Well, the Red Lobster's right next door.
I love Red
that
Lobster.
one.
Shout out Red Lobster.
Shout
out those Bay biscuits.
A lot of people say that. I tried them. I haven't been impressed.
Back in the day, in the 90s, they were impeccable.
Yeah.
I'm sure as time has gone by,
They cheapened their recipe.
ingredients have been altered, recipes have been altered in the name of the bottom line. But we could go on for days about, this should be another segment. We should definitely do another segment about restaurant experiences, good, bad, fair.
And maybe we will.
And we should talk about what restaurants should thrive and which ones should die.
I got some opinions on that too.
Strong opinions. We should maybe do that as our one-on-one off thing.
Okay.
Off week one.
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and just wrap it up.
That was fun.
It was an interesting kind of a show.
One.
I like these kind of shows where it's not too much planned and we just kind of go off the cuff a little bit.
Homeless and
Chipotle.
Chipotle. And Chipotle. They go together like, coffee and cream.
Yeah, K-Rod and Luis have no idea what they missed.
No, they missed it out.
Yeah.
I bet they got some nice experiences in the restaurant.
Yeah, but K-Rod probably would have something where...
At the taco stand.
Yeah, or he had to wash dishes or something for a bill he couldn't pay.
Uber
or something
Eats,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we could talk some Dine and
Oh,
Dash.
my God. Uber Eats, Grubhub, all those
Dine
places.
and Dash business back when we were kids,
Did I ever do that? I didn't have the...
We can get into
that
later.
agree. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us on this unique episode of
Thanks,
House of
guys.
Machismo.
Have a great week.
Have a great week. And next weekend is Father's Day weekend, so we're going to have a special show for you guys. Until then, we will see you guys when we see you guys. Bye.
See ya.
You have been listening to the House of Machismo podcast with your host, Marty Portillo, and co-hosts, Luis Salazar, Christopher Gindin, and Keith Rodriguez. Podcast director and camera operator, Oscar Martinez. Voiceover and announcer, me, Ian Del Rio. Listen to the show on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Also find us on Facebook and Instagram. This has been a House of Machismo production. Ba-ba-da-bum.